Hey YouTube, this is Tech Andrews doing another toy review. Now this is a second review of the figures that I picked up from late Starly Quinn, Amber, or Starly Quinn as she was known to most people. And this is the 2-pack set from the Masters Universe Classics from, it was last year, it was Terror Claws Skeletor versus Flying Fist He-Man. Now these are both based on old vintage original 80s Masters of the Universe figures. Now, I didn't get the box with these guys, I got these loose, so it was just, as far as I know, Amber was selling off her extra set and she wanted to kind of cut costs on shipping, so I said just chuck the box and packaging because I generally don't collect the boxes, but for these two I'm just going to do the review straight of the figures. So I'm going to do Skeletor first and then I'll go into He-Man. So for Skeletor, he's basically a reuse of the standard Skeletor figure. He does come with 3 accessories, which I will disassemble and then I'll show you them in a minute. So you can kind of pretty much guess what the accessories are. So he's essentially a reuse of the standard Skeletor, or he's not even a retool, he's just the same standard Skeletor figure with a new chest piece and slightly different paint scheme. Now, they went with a really darker coloured blue plastic for his kind of skin tone, or I'm not sure if it's a bodysuit or skin itself, but they went with his kind of really dark skin tone version. His normal belt on the standard one is a kind of purple, where they went with red with this because that's the colour that was on the original figure. And he has this new breastplate, which is, as people seem to call it, Skeletor sports bra, but this is a new breastplate with kind of skull motif and the purple kind of, it's almost like a shiny metallic purple. It reminds me a lot of the battle armor Skeletor that had the rotating chest piece that showed different types of damage. But the other thing then that's different is the skull colour is a lot brighter and neonish than some of the other Skeletors, and the hood on his head is actually a darker purple than that's standard. I think it's around the same dark purple as his boots, so they're around the same colour scheme. And then for accessories, he comes with this weird little dragon-headed, I wouldn't call it blaster, but like a pincher or some sort of grippy thing. It kind of reminds me of one of those grip things for people that have mobility problems. And then you have these, actually, it kind of reminds me of those old toys that you used to get in the pound shop with kind of Hungry Hippo style heads on it. Then you got these 2 little claws, which are basically the same design as the original ones. So what the original ones would do would clip on over his actual hands. And it's interesting because the way the original ones worked, I think, was utilising the original figures used to have an elastic system in their hand, or in their waist, that would swing back and forth when you twisted them. So basically I think you used to be able to twist them up and then just spin them, and he'd spin around swiping his claws around the place. And the claws are very similar to how the claws in the original worked, and they also remind me of the claws that came with the G.I. Joe Dr. Rex figure. They just clip on over the existing hands as opposed to being actual hands that clip on to the figure itself. And then there is a storage on the back of the armor piece for this dragon head thing, and that just clipped on there. He can hold it in his hand. So if I just take it off, I'll put it into his right hand for the time being. He can hold it in both hands. It's a little easier to get into the right hand. So he does hold it. I think the original one is do some sort of swinging mechanism gimmick and the mouth would open and close. But because of the way Masters of the Universe Classics design their figures, they try to keep the original gimmicks and stuff like that out of the figures, which is okay with me. I think the only figures that they really only released that had the gimmicks in them, and it was pretty much a big selling point for those figures, was the Laser Light. It's another 2-pack, Laser Light Skeletor versus Laser Sword He-Man, where the eyes would glow and the arm, I think it's the staff would glow on the Skeletor, and He-Man's sword glows. So onto He-Man. I'll go on to the figure himself. So the figure again is just a reuse of the original He-Man figure. The only difference is his breastplate armor, which is based on the original toy again. Now, the original toy, it was a solid body piece with metallic, chrome metallic on the body armor. But for the Masters of the Universe figures, they tend to go with armor that clips on over the actual general Masters of the Universe block, which is exactly what they did here. And you have 2 clips on either side, so you can actually remove this armor. And the same with Skeletor, he has 2 clips on either side of his armor. You can remove it if you want. I'll go on to articulation last on these figures, because it's pretty much identical. So, for the He-Man himself, he's, as I said, he's just a reuse of a standard He-Man figure with just new accessories. So the accessories he comes with are ones based on the original figures. So he has this weird kind of bolo, which is supposed to be his flying fists. So they rotates around and supposed to knock the crap out of people while hitting them. And then he has this shield, which kind of spins around. It kind of reminds me of like a shield generator. So this would kind of spin around, and I think the idea was it was supposed to, you know, generate some sort of force field. And again, he comes with his standard Masters of the Universe power sword. Now, the difference between this and most of the other He-Man figures is they just left the paint apps on this off. It's just a standard grey plastic, as opposed to most of the other He-Man figures where he came with a power sword. He actually came with, it might have been standard grey plastic for here, but the actual blade itself would have been done in a silver metallic paint, or vice versa. The handle might have been painted and the silver sword was just left on the silver. So you can hold the sword in both hands. It's a bit tight to get into this one because I haven't actually used anything in this hand really. So you can hold it in both hands, and he holds onto his weapon in both hands as well. It's designed to fit into the right hand because that's the way the original figure had it. And I think on the back of the figure there's what looks like it would have been a kind of activation switch. They do this on a lot of the figures that had gimmick style things for the Masters of the Universe classics. They have like maybe a neck area sculpted where it would have been a button, but it's a sculpted piece so it doesn't do anything. Well, I think what used to happen with this is you'd press the button and you would swing the arm, and the bolo thing would actually swing as well at the same time. So I think that's how the original one worked. I never had the original, so I'm just guessing. But he's pretty cool. He does, as I said, he does hold his sword and, or not sword, his bolo thing and shield. The shield is designed to fit on the left hand. Now you can put it on the right hand. It might look a little out of place, but it's designed predominantly to fit on the left, because that's the way the original figure used to hold them. And even though it's not official, but you can actually get him to hold his sword as well. He doesn't actually have a place to hold a power sword, like unlike some of the other He-Mans. They used to have a little bit on the back that you could just slide the sword into. Whereas on this, if you can actually slide it slightly down between the shield and the grip. So it just sort of sits there, which is similar to the, I think it's Thunder Punch He-Man has a sword that can actually fit into the shield. So it's kind of similar to that if you wanted to do it that way. But it is kind of handy that you can kind of store all the weapons on these guys. So, onto articulation. So I'll just take all the gear off He-Man for the time being. As I said, the shield sword isn't designed to fit in the shield. It just kind of sits there with friction if you slide it down the right way. So, for the figures themselves, both figures are identical on articulation, so I'll just do it on one. So he has standard ball jointed head, so he can look up a bit, side to side a bit, and do a 360. He has the standard Master of the Universe style shoulders, so he has ball socket, ball jointed shoulders, so they can go out that much. Same with Skeletor, they're not hindered too much by their armour. Can do 360 on both arms. He can do a pretty much near 90-degree bend on his hand. He has a single jointed elbow. He also has a bicep swivel, same with Skeletor, and he has wrist swivel. Now, like I said in some of the other, on one of my other video reviews, some of the more modern He-Mans actually came with a hinged wrist instead of with the swivel as well as a hinge, but this guy just uses the standard He-Man. He does have a waist swivel. He does have the ab crunch, but because of the armor, it's actually blocked. So I'll just get Skeletor in for a second. So you can see there is a kind of hinge midway up in the chest, so you can go forward and back. Doesn't do too much on Skeletor either because of the way the armor is designed, but you have that on He-Man as well. His loincloth is quite of a tight rubber, so it doesn't get too much of a it doesn't leave too much leeway for going forward and back. You can go forward that much, you can go back that much, but he can do the splits as well, so it'll go out the side. It has upper rotation on the thigh, single jointed knee, so you can get 90-degree bend. It has boot cuff swivel, and then he has an articulation point on the ankle, forward and back, and he doesn't have the rocker ankles like some of the other newer figures have as well. So he's a pretty cool figure. I do enjoy the set. As I said, I mostly got it for the Terror Claws Skeletor because I think he looks, even though he looks really goofy, he kind of looks cool at the same time. But then again, a lot of those kind of wackier designs looked kind of goofy on the old classics He-Man figures, and they kind of look, even though the or the vintage He-Man figures, but even though the classics are still bringing them out, they do look kind of cool when they kind of update them and modernize them a slight bit. So there you go, guys. There's my figure review for the Masters of the Universe 2-packs Terror Claws Skeletor versus Flying Fist He-Man. I keep wanting to call him Thunder Punch He-Man for some reason, because I think he's, for some reason I just have that one embedded in my brain at the moment for some reason. So there you go, guys. Thunder Punch. See, I did it again. There you go, guys. Flying Fist He-Man versus Terror Claws Skeletor. So hopefully you enjoyed my review. As I say in my reviews, feel free to click like on the video, feel free to comment, and feel free to subscribe to my channel as well. Cheers, guys.